Hey YouTube, it's Luke here. Today I'm going to review the Power Mig 210 by Lincoln Electric. As of right now, this thing is in extremely high demand. I ordered mine pretty early in October and I just now got it the first week of December. So they are kind of tough to come by, and there's a reason why. Lincoln, I talked to one of the reps on the phone and they weren't expecting the demand for these that there really is when they produced it. There's a lot of reasons why this thing is really cool, and I think once you get done watching this video, you'll agree that it's probably the best welder on the market for any process and for the price point. Obviously you can buy $17,000 TIG welders, but this one's going to do TIG pretty well also. So I'm going to jump right into it here. Now obviously, if you can see, this unit's pretty small, easy to carry around. It's got a nice rugged handle on the top. It's only 40 pounds, so again, pretty easy to carry. One thing that makes this great is it'll do some heavy duty welding in addition to light stuff, and it does have dual power inputs. So right now I have it plugged into the wall socket at 110 here, and actually I have 220 up in my other garage and also on my portable welder. So I have a generator that puts out 220. Now it's so easy to change out the power plugs. I'll show you what they look like here. This is basically it. Comes with about a 6 foot long power plug, and on the end of it, as you guys can see there, it's just got a little 3-prong twist lock connector. And what it does is it comes with 2 plugs. I've got my 220 one here, and I have my 110 one plugged into the wall. It takes about 1.5 seconds to disconnect this, pull it out, and put the other one in. So if you have to go over to a buddy's house just to weld on their mower deck for a second, and they don't have any 220 out in the garage, that's no problem. You can switch right over to 110, and for most light metal and low amperage circumstances, you're not going to need 220. This thing does have up to 210 amp power output, so when you do get up in those higher ranges, 22 volts and some high wire speeds, you can do spray MIG with this. For those kind of settings, you're really going to want to put it on 220. So this package does come complete with pretty much everything you need. Came with a Magnum 100 MIG gun. Pretty nice MIG gun. It's actually just shy of their full-size Magnum version that I've used for many years. It comes with a pretty nice gas nozzle and some contact tips, 025 and 035. Now, it does come with drive rolls that will accept anything from 025 up to 045 Flux Core. So definitely as far as handling capabilities, it's awesome. It's got a broad range. Now what I did right from the factory, I threw a big spool, 10-pound spool of 035, just 70S6 wire on here. And it's been running fine for me. I really like the 035. I get long life out of the spool, and if I do need to get into some thicker metal, I can crank the amperages up, it'll handle it. So pretty awesome there. It does have Lincoln's twist lock connectors on the front right here, and it makes it real simple for changing between DC positive and DC negative to go from MIG to possibly stick reverse polarity or TIG. TIG is a big deal with this thing, and I'll explain that to you guys in just a second here. Now, this machine so far, to me, it feels really well built. This thing's only $9.99. That's the retail price. I mean, I can guarantee you that probably for the better part of a year, you're not going to be able to get them cheaper than $1,000 because there just aren't many out there. They're definitely in high demand, and as we know, when demand goes up, so does price. So, $1,000. Just spend the money. Don't even think twice about it. If you're ordering it from some of these websites online, you're going to get no tax. So $1,000 for this machine, I'm telling you right now in advance, is a steal. So if this is all the further you make it in my video, you need to buy this thing. Now moving forward, it comes with a really nice ground clamp. What I do with all my ground clamps is I switch them out with a little magnet. These things are pretty awesome. I find them on Amazon. Be a little 200 amp well, it's not an electromagnet, but a little twist lock magnet, and that works as your ground clamp. So if you've got pipe welding to do or something like that, maybe a surface where you can't get a ground clamp on, those little magnets make it nice. So I attach that right on there. Comes with everything you'll need: contact tips, drive rollers, wire guides, and a flow meter regulator for the CO2 or argon mix, depending on whatever you're going to use. So definitely comes with all the things that you're going to possibly need. Really the only thing, if you don't already have a MIG welder, you add a set of MIG pliers, and I'm a big fan of this gel. I got some Hobart gel here. You dip your nozzle and contact tip in that stuff, and it keeps the spatter off of it. So pretty good stuff there. But let me turn this thing around and kind of show you what the front looks like just a little bit here. Now, your power switch is right on the center. So once you turn that on, you'll see this thing has a beautiful display on the front. Now this is probably, oh, I don't know, 4 inches or so. It's more than enough to read. Now you'll kind of hear the fan kick on. Let me move this. The fan is a little bit loud, but it's definitely something that, you know, you can have conversation around it. It's not very loud whatsoever, but for what it is, there's a ton of air movement that comes out of the front of this. This being an inverter welder, that's really going to help out. The fans seem well built. They don't rattle or anything, so I was pretty impressed by that. Alright, now on this front panel here, this gives you a lot of pertinent information. One thing you can do is there's a home button. Think of it like your cell phone. Hit the home button and start out right at home. First thing it does is ask you, what process do you want to run? You use the big dial here for most functions, so you can change through. There's MIG Steel C25, which is 75-25 mix gas. You've got MIG C100, 100% CO2. You've got a manual CV. You got the Flux Core inner shield wire setting, spool gun for aluminum stick, TIG. All these settings you can just cycle through. And then each button has the ability to push. So I'm going to pick MIG Steel C25. You push it, and it takes you to your next setting. First thing it does is tell you how to set up your cable. So for common MIG settings, you've got DC positive connection. It's just giving you a little reminder on the screen, set it up for DC positive. Go ahead and hit OK again. Ask you what wire size you want to go through. So I've got 025, 030, 035, whatever. So I hit 035, then it asks you your material thickness. Starts out at 20 gauge, 18, 10, all the way down, and you can kind of pick where you're at. Now, if you've got something thicker than that, or you want to mess with your own settings, it doesn't really matter. Just go up all the way to 10 gauge, hit OK. Now it'll give you a general range in green as far as where you should have settings. So it'll kind of give you a general idea of wire speed and voltage. But if you're smart enough to figure out, hey, I need 500 wire speed and 24 volts, then you can just make those adjustments yourself. Now the knob on the left here is for amperage or wire speed, depending on what you're doing. And the one on the right here is voltage or on-off. So what I mean by on-off is TIG. If you don't have a foot pedal, this allows you to turn your TIG torch on and off. So if you set it down, you don't accidentally bump it and it arcs and gives you welder slash. Pretty cool options. And then when you do run TIG, your amperage is over here on this left knob. So pretty awesome. It's got a little back button down here on the side. But that's pretty much in short the easy way to set up the machine and what all the knobs do on the side. So the MIG gun locks in right on the front. There's the connector for the MIG gun switch also right on the front. Again, your DC positive connection comes right out of the machine here for the wire feeder and plugs right in, so you've just got a short little piece of cord, and then your ground clamp hooks up right down here. So all in all, pretty simple setup on the front. Alright, now last but not least, I'm going to show you guys the inside of the machine here. It's pretty awesome. On the front, I forgot to mention, there's a little storage compartment here. You can put extra contact tips and all your drive rolls. So pretty nice little feature. A little flip switch, just like Lincoln always does on the side, opens the door. First thing you'll notice on the door, you have a huge thing that tells you all about what all the knobs do, all the settings do. If you lose the owner's manual, this is pretty much it in a little summed up segment here. Now, as you can see, I've got an 11-pound spool of wire right here. It does fit. It's got plenty of clearance. I would say that you're not going to get a full-size spool on this, but you do have a couple inches either direction, you know, so if you had a little bigger spool or something, you could probably fit it on here. This thing is real easy to set up. Now, it does have a spring-loaded roller tensioner right here. All that does is flip down just like any standard wire feeder. Your door flips up. And one thing Lincoln thought of that was pretty cool is it actually has a little tab that holds the roller top piece, the little door there, holds it up, which is pretty awesome. Now, it does have the screw-on wire guide side right here. All you got to do is just take that off, and then you'll be able to access your drive roller and your wire guide right underneath. Very simple to change. Just got Lincoln's little twist lock on the roller. It's a single roller. It's smaller than their large bench wire feed units, so it is a little bit small, but it seems to work fine and durable, no issues whatsoever. And wire guide is real easy to change out as well. So any maintenance to this thing or any changing a wire you got to do is just literally a matter of a minute just to switch some things around. The liner that comes with this is good anywhere from 0.25 all the way up to 0.45. You know, possibly if you're going to be running 0.25 constantly, you may want to get a different liner that's a little bit smaller, just because, you know, 0.25 to 0.45 wire guide is, you know, gives it a pretty big difference there. But pretty much that's it. The thing seems to be built pretty well. I mean, obviously if you drop it, the ends are plastic, so you're probably going to get a crack on there. Mine actually came from the store, and it does have a crack right on the handle right here, which is interesting because the package for shipping wasn't damaged. I just saw this today actually. But it comes with Lincoln standard 3-year warranty. I'm not going to complain too much about this. The machine should be fine. I've done a lot of welding with this, and it has performed to my expectations. The MIG process runs awesome. The setup is easy. The arc characteristics are really great. I haven't had it slip in on the wiring. It feeds wire excellent. Really does a great job. So I've been pleased with it so far. I've had the ability to set up my TIG torch, which I'll show you here real quick. Just got a 12.5 foot CK TIG torch, air cooled, and all I did is they come with these adapters right on the end. I run my inert gas hose for my straight argon right into this adapter, and then truthfully you can buy a twist lock DINS connector that'll actually run the gas and everything right through the connector on the front of this welder. But all I do is take my electrode holder for my stick welder, clamp it right on here. So this thing does come with an electrode holder so you can run stick on it. Clamp that right under your TIG torch, and pretty much that's it. You can control your gas with your fingers right there. Now, it does not come with a TIG torch, so you'll have to buy one. It does not come with a TIG pedal. So this is something to think about. It uses a K870 pedal, so it's a standard 6-pin pedal that Lincoln uses on all their other machines. There is one concern though. This pedal is not going to work unless you have an adapter. The adapter is anywhere from $70 to $100. It is not currently available yet. I want to show you guys this real quick on the inside of the machine. There's a little plug. You're not going to be able to see it, and even if I put you up closer, you're not going to be able to see it. There's a little plug. It's like a soft plug that needs to get popped out. And inside of there, there's a special plug. I don't know what it is. It's obviously proprietary to Lincoln, but they're making it so you have to plug a connector into that, and then that switches over to the 6-pin K870 pedal connector. So you are going to have to buy an adapter, not just the pedal. Think about that. So if you're planning on using this for a lot of TIG, go ahead and buy your torch. You can use it for a little while the way I have it set up. I do have a pedal, but I do not yet have that adapter. Now I was going to get creative and mess around in there and try and, you know, splice some wires and do some things so that I could just hook up my own pedal, but I'd rather not. For the $1,000 machine, I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to wait until they release the connector and just purchase that connector. But when you look at the pictures of this before you're getting it, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how am I going to be able to run a TIG pedal on this? That little connector on the front is only 4-pin. That connector is only for the MIG switch. Don't think you're going to hook a TIG pedal up to that. You do have to have this adapter, and it does have to plug inside. So I'm sure somebody out there will come out with a cheaper aftermarket adapter or a hack to get around this thing, you know, so that you can make something to plug in there. But until that point, just wanted to let you guys know that, FYI. I don't know the model number of the adapter. You could Google it. It's pretty easy. It's going to come up on Lincoln's page right there. So if you guys have any other questions or comments, let me know. Leave them below. This is a brand new machine. So, you know, I just wanted to give you guys an overview and let you know if it seems to be worth the money or not.